In order. Chief Summers, would you please lead us in the pledge? Would you all please stand and join us in the pledge? Standing for a moment of silent meditation or prayer. Thank you. Angie, would you call the roll, please?
Councilman Holtz.
Present.
Councilman Curry.
Here.
Councilwoman King.
Here.
Councilman Mishler.
Present.
Councilman Fish.
Here.
Councilwoman Hines.
Here.
Councilman Crabtree.
Here.
Councilman Hanky. President Dawson.
Here, present. Just want to remind everybody to make sure your phone is on airplane mode or on silent. If it goes off, you'll be fined. So I don't know how sufficient a fine it will be, but you will be fined. We'll figure it out. We have minutes for approval. Could I get a motion for minutes for June 17th, 2024 council meeting?
So move.
That Angie? Got a motion from Mr. Crabtree,
Second by Tonda.
second by Ms. Hines. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Minutes of June 26, 2024 tax abatement. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve.
Got a motion from Mr.
Second.
Mishler, second from Mr. Fish. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the July 1st, 2024 council meeting?
So moved.
Got a motion by Mrs. Hines, second by Mr. Crabtree. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of July 10th, 2024 council meeting, special call meeting?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Fish, second Mr. Mishler. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Minutes of July 29th, 2024 council meeting. Could I get a motion?
So moved.
Got a
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Hines, second by Mr. Crabtree for the special council meeting on July 29th. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Presentations and introductions. At this time, could I have all of our first responders come forward? Communication, fire, street, buildings and grounds, forestry, anybody that did anything
Right up here.
doing that. Just if you stand back there with Christy, we'd like to read a resolution to you on your behalf. Angie. After you read the resolution, I want to make sure they hear it. If they didn't hear the mayor, then we'll sign up this way to take a picture. So we got everybody up here. All right. Angie, would you read the resolution, the proclamation following the storm and tornado on July 16th?
City of Elkhart proclamation in recognition of remarkable emergency service following the storm and tornado on July 16, 2024. Whereas in the late hours of Monday, July 15, 2024, a severe storm containing intense straight-line winds with tornado potential moved into Elkhart County, and whereas around 12:20 a.m. on Tuesday, July 16, 2024, a tornado touched down south of Lusher Avenue on the south side of Elkhart, moving southeast before relenting south of Monger Elementary near South Main Street. And whereas within minutes of the storm passing, Elkhart City 911 Communications began receiving their first distress calls from impacted residents. And whereas Elkhart City first responders and Elkhart County Emergency Management were activated and descended upon the affected area on foot, going door to door, and a drone was launched to begin to survey the damage. And whereas a command center was established at Pierre Moran Pavilion in the early morning hours of Tuesday and was the hub for all storm response efforts for the remainder of the week. And whereas, under the leadership of Jennifer Toby, Executive Director of Elkhart County Emergency Management, and Christy Summer, City of Elkhart Assistant Fire Chief, first responders, city staff, county emergency personnel, I&M representative, and nonprofit aid agencies worked tirelessly to ensure residents were safe and had options for shelter, food, and other necessities. And whereas, upon the confirmation by the National Weather Service that a storm contained an EF1 tornado, and in collaboration with Elkhart County Commissioners, a state of emergency was declared for Elkhart County. And whereas, all residents in need of emergency shelter were housed by Tuesday night, and after approximately 36 hours of storm response, staff shifted into storm recovery mode. And whereas, staff within the City of Elkhart departments of street, buildings and grounds, public works, and central garage began their work of clearing debris, beginning with roads and sidewalks and moving into residents. And whereas, the immediate, thorough, and professional response by emergency personnel provided comfort and reassurance to residents and created a full picture of the storm and its wrath. And whereas, the residents of the City of Elkhart and the entire Elkhart community are fortunate to have such compassionate and competent emergency responders as their neighbors ready to deploy in the second they are needed. And whereas, as stated by Jennifer Toby, it's not if, it's when a disaster will strike, and the equipment, training, and readiness begin in peak shape, make the difference between life and death, suffering and comfort. Now, therefore, I, Rod Robinson, Mayor of Elkhart, do hereby proclaim July 16, 2024, Storm Response Day to Jennifer Toby and Christy Summer as the leaders and representatives of the efforts of all first responders and staff who responded to the July 16, 2024 storm.
Thank you. Mayor Rod,
Yes, can you hear me?
turn it up just a little. Turn your volume up, sir.
Can you hear me now?
That's very good.
All right, great. I am so sorry I couldn't be with you on this occasion, but I do want to make sure to let you know how honored I am to be in the space that I'm in right now, giving a congratulations to all of you standing there. I know that it wasn't but an hour or two after the storm came through that there was prayers going up that we didn't see any fatalities and or injuries, but there was an ominous feeling along the way, and it made you feel as though that some were going to come. And I know that as it was read into the record a minute ago by the proclamation, how all of these different departments came together in order to ensure that we were responding as quickly as we possibly could, just in case we did receive that dreaded call around injuries or possible fatalities. We saw an extraordinary effort from all of you. And I was so honored to be in that presence as I went out with the reconnaissance crews around 4:30, looking at the down power lines, looking at the down branches and trees, and people coming out of their homes, letting us know that they were okay. It was just one of those surreal times that this moment can only come to scratch the surface of congratulations and or just what a wonderful job you all did. We know that there were many people that were involved with this effort that aren't standing in front of the council right now. There were over 80 calls that came and sent crews to the scene, 60 homes impacted, 9 destroyed, and 12 more receiving major damage. The Southern Baptist Disaster Relief helped 39 residents clean up their homes or in yards. Are they in the council chambers or representatives of them, or do you know? I don't know if they are or not, but they cleaned up streets and trees and debris from private property, which, as you well know, is difficult for us to do. The Red Cross helped property owners find home after their homes were destroyed, helped to make sure that they were helping these property owners find a place to stay. COAD and Jen Toby's activation of COAD for long-term recovery is helping ongoing needs after the storm. As of today, D&G has completed storm cleanup and the burn has been completed, as well as we will continue to chop up branches and hold them for wood kindling along the way. But their regular duties are now starting to come back into order. We've continued to track all expenses related to the storm and recovery and preparation for hopefully some reimbursement, given that we are a community where disaster relief was necessary. I want to specifically speak to just a couple of people and organizations, and this is a very small, I tried to make it comprehensive, and if anybody would like to step to the mic after I speak of these folk, I would not hesitate to say, please step. Dennis Smith from the Southern Baptist Disaster Team, Scott Matthews from River Oaks, Mona Livingston from Indiana Michigan Power, Jennifer Toby, we mentioned a moment ago, the Executive Director of Elkhart County Emergency Management, Christy Summer, Assistant Fire Chief under the leadership of Interim Chief Dale, Captain Sullivan, Elkhart Fire Department, Lieutenant Wayne Bias from Elkhart Police Department under the leadership of Chief Melanese, Mike Zooks, Street Department, Mike Leitner, Buildings and Grounds, Dustin McLean, Director of 911 Communications, Josh Hope, Director of the Central Garage, Justin Scheinholt, Public Works, the mayor's staff and the city staff and all of the volunteers and nonprofits who assisted and offered support services during this time was all greatly appreciated. But the coordination and the readouts that occurred on a regular basis until we got beyond the distinct emergency was beyond measure. So for all of you standing there, and obviously many more, I just would like to say thank you. This was the first tornado that had hit our area in over 3 decades, actually 4 decades. And obviously we needed all of the effort that was put forth to ensure that we got our residents back on our feet. As we said during those negotiations, I didn't want residents to feel as though they were alone in the recovery. And you all stepped up to the plate to ensure that that was going on during the state of emergency and is going on right now and will continue to go on until we get each and every last resident to a point in which they know that our services have yielded the kind of response that is anticipated from a city of our size. Thank you so much for what you did. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you. Would you all come face this way so we can get a... Did anyone want to say anything? Chrissy? I'm just asking. If not, okay.
Justin, say something.
Sure are.
Say something. Well, step out.
We're going to take a couple of minute break in case anyone wants to leave, or you're more than welcome to stay for this exciting council meeting. Riveting. This riveting council meeting.
Riveting. I'm sorry, you got enough room there?
Riveting council meeting?
Sorry.
Just walk down the
What?
hallway. I don't have to walk out. I don't have to leave my house.
I didn't get that. I wasn't here last time.
Yes, thank you, Bradley. If you
Decorating skills are a little
okay,
slight.
it's okay. We got to go to unfinished business. Second and third reading. There are no ordinances and resolutions referred to committees. Tabled ordinance and resolution ordinance 24-0-10 will remain tabled. New business ordinance on first reading. Would you please read proposed ordinance 24-0-26 by title, please?
Proposed ordinance 24-0-26, an ordinance approving the third major amendment to the Concord Mall Planned Unit Development to change the zoning standards from B4 Regional Business District to R4 Multifamily Residential District, B2 Community Business District, and M1 Limited Manufacturing Standards.
Thank you. If there are no objections, I'll pass this on the second reading. Would you read proposed ordinance 24-0-27 by title?
Proposed ordinance 24-0-27, an ordinance prohibiting the camping and storage of personal property on public property except in designated camping areas.
Thank you. If there are no objections, we'll pass that on the second reading. Would you read proposed ordinance 24-0-28 by title, please?
Proposed ordinance 24-0-28, an ordinance authorizing the City of Elkhart to issue economic development revenue bonds, River District project, and approving and authorizing other actions in respect thereto.
Thank you. If there are no objections, this will be passed on the second reading. Resolutions. Would you read proposed resolution 24-R-41 by title, please?
Proposed resolution 24-R-41, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, declaring a certain area to be an economic revitalization area for the purpose of granting tax phase-in benefits to Third Coast Committee. Yeah, I'm going to spit this word out tonight. Commodities, LLC, Evergreen Grease Enterprises, LLC.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to adopt this resolution?
Move to approve.
Got a motion by Mr. Curry, second by Mr. Mishler. Drew looks anxious to get to the mic. You have something for us, Drew?
Good evening, Council. Drew Wines, Economic Development. Third Coast Commodities was formed in 2013 to supply physical derivative commodities. They service 200 companies nationally and internationally in the broader fats, oils, and grease industry. In 2023, Third Coast purchased 1650 West Lusher, which is formerly Homer Lumber. This project involves building improvements, which include a $1 million investment in a new rail spur and a $1 million investment in tank farm infrastructure for efficient loading and unloading. The personal property investment includes $1.5 million in automated loading and unloading equipment associated with the building improvements. This is an advanced recycling, clean energy project that also repurposes a formerly obsolete parcel. We are recommending a 7-year real property and 5-year personal property tax phase-in. This project is projected to create 50 new jobs with an average annual wage of $58,240. There are representatives from Third Coast here this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions for Drew? Mr. Mishler.
Thank you. So to be clear, this is just essentially what you already said, a 7-year, a 5-year, 50 new jobs, close to $60,000 a year average wage, and this primarily tackles fats, oils, grease issues. So it's not related to manufacturing in the RV industry, anything like that. It's its own separate, unique entity that we're bringing into the community, correct?
That is my understanding. For industry-specific questions, I would defer to our company representative.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Fish.
Drew, we're okay within the application timeline, the window here. We're still okay to get this in for our tax abatement process?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Drew? Mr. Curry?
Yes, I'd like a little more information about exactly what the company is going to do, how many cars will be parked. You know, this is Lusher, and will there be any noise that might affect other people around them in their operation?
For that question, I would like to defer to our company representative.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, your specific question is about
Would you
car-
state your name?
I'm sorry, forgive me. Paul Dickerson, I'm the owner and founder of Third Coast Commodities. I'm also the owner of Evergreen Grease Service. We recycle used cooking oil from about 3,000 restaurants in Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. So we service your local restaurants. We bring back that used cooking oil. We remove the water and the fronds you might find from the fryer crumb when you're frying up your french fries, et cetera, and that all goes to renewable diesel and sustainable aviation fuel. We've been doing this, Evergreen's been in business 28 years. Third Coast has been in business, 11 years. And yeah, we do about 200,000 metric ton of this a year on an annualized basis around the country. The facility here in Elkhart will do starting around 20 million pounds a year. And again, what our trucks do is they go to restaurants, they collect that used cooking oil, they come back, we process that used cooking oil, and then turn it into a feedstock for making sustainable aviation fuel and renewable diesel.
Mr. Curry?
Okay, now that's at the 650 location, so you own the building next door, I think it's 1630,
No, sir.
okay? But that's what, the old, that, you said this was the old lumber company?
We purchased 1650 West Lusher. I'm not aware of a different address with the parcel.
Yeah, I went by and took a look at 1650. I was just wondering if you own the 1630, which is
To the west?
Yes,
No, sir.
Oh,
That's
okay.
I think that's a painting facility for RVs.
okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Any
sir.
other questions? Mr. Fish?
Thanks for being here. This,
Thanks for having me.
A lot of exciting potential. So you're essentially a green company. You're doing green things.
Yes, sir.
For the environment. How will you protect the environment in your locations?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our existing facility in Adrian, Michigan is literally designed as a concrete bathtub. So we literally have no exposure to the outside of the environment. All of our tanks would, if there were ever a rupture, would leak inside of literally our building foundation, and then we would reprocess the product in there. Again, this is used cooking oil. It's soybean oil, canola oil, palm oil. It's the things you literally would consume and eat. So it's pretty boring. It's non-toxic. But again, the primary containment is the structure itself. So there'd be excavation. We'd have to pour huge, if you will, think of like a giant swimming pool. And our building would be inside of the giant swimming pool.
Okay, and then and you can commingle these oils with no problem and process them.
Well, whether I do or not, they do every day at the restaurant. So as we hit the different restaurants, we don't control what they fry in.
Yeah, but you can pick up anybody's
Yes, sir.
cooking oil and put it into your process.
Yes, sir, including industrial facilities like Monogram Foods down the road in Bristol, Indiana. They're the largest producer of corn dogs in the United States. We process their cooking oil as well.
Any concerns about odors released, fumes, anything like that?
My bad jokes, it smells like money. But if you ever get behind a restaurant, that would be kind of the smell, would be from that little dumpster area behind a restaurant.
Well, I remember when Willie Nelson converted his RV that was built in Elkhart to vegetable oil, and they said it smelled like French fries going down the road.
Some people might say that, yes, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Willie Nelson's RV probably smelled like something else. Going down the road. Thank you. Are there any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, Ms. King.
Hello, Mr. Dickerson. So can you please explain what would happen on a worst-case scenario if there ever was a leak or ever was a fire? Because there are residentials close to your facility.
Yeah, so I mean, a fire, we'd have fire suppression, there'd be a sprinkler system in there, but let's face it, this is a flammable product, so it would combust, it would burn. That's never happened in our facility before. We have no ignition sources, so our boiler is in a completely separate contained area, and then it's all piped through.
So in the case of a leak, how would our ground be protected, or will it contaminate it down the road? If you ever moved out and we wanted to put something else there.
Again, great question. So we don't do any hazardous materials. We do not do motor oils. We don't do any kind of recycling of coolants or solvents. We are strictly, literally cooked products. This is what we do for a living. The first containment is the building structure itself. Again, think of it like a giant bathtub. After that, we would put one, and if necessary, two interceptors between ourselves and the city sewer system. No different than like you have a P-trap, and that's what we do for a living, is get the grease out. So no offense, I don't want grease going to you. We want to make sure that goes to BP and Valero and others. Please.
Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Dickerson, I asked this only really as a teacher. I'm still a math teacher, so just the process interests me. And if it's okay, I may share it with my students, you know, just because interesting things that go on in the world that they like to know about. I'm just interested if there's any kind of a byproduct or what the byproducts are beyond the fuel that might be used for airplanes or whatever. And I guess what I'm talking about is, do you have a waste product? You know, like if you have the fried drippings from whatever fried chicken, you know, that you strain out, what happens to that?
So the fryer crumb, the actual solid particulates that we remove from the cooking oil, actually we landfill that. And that's a safety issue. So these are dumpsters behind restaurants where people deposit their cooking oil. The challenge with a dumpster is people put other things in there. Sometimes we find a dead raccoon from time to time. There's other things. We don't want those things on the back up, so those get landfilled. Our biggest byproduct is water. So you can imagine frying frozen food. There is some water left over, and that water is then treated. Today, we actually truck that off site to Flint, Michigan. It goes to a biodigester where they make renewable natural gas, really make electricity out of it. We're hoping the city will work with us on the water because, again, it's free of fog.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience? Open up to the public. Is there anyone in the audience like to speak on this particular resolution? Seeing none, we turn it back to the council. Any other council discussion? Seeing none, Angie, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Holtz.
Aye.
Councilman Curry.
Yes.
Councilwoman King.
Yes.
Councilman Mishler.
Aye.
Councilman Fish.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hines.
Yes.
Councilman Crabtree.
Yes.
President Dawson.
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
There are no vacation hearings. Is there any new business from council?
Yes. Thank you. So we have tomorrow night, the National Night Out 2024 on the Elkhart Central Green. This is August 6th, 2024 from 5 to 7. I'll be there. I hope you are. I'll be with representing the New York National Railroad Museum. We're going to have a pop-up tent. We're going to have our police force out educating and entertaining and enlightening our community, and it's always a very good turnout, food, friends, demonstrations. It's going to be a great thing. I hope everybody shows up.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none. Neighborhood reports. No, I'm sorry, reports, Board of Works, mayor, department heads. Anybody, mayor, department heads? None, okay. Neighborhood reports. Any neighborhood reports? I mean, when we say neighborhood reports, we just expect you to start talking, Brent.
Yeah.
You don't have to be recognized.
Anyway, well, thank you. I'd like to report for the Pierre Moran Neighborhood Association. We met yesterday, and we kind of titled this our meeting after the tornado because our neighborhood association was directly in the path of the tornado and had a lot of people that had damage. And as always, you know, I just think it's great to be organized before something like that happened, because after the tornado went through, at 1:30 in the morning, I got the call from the vice president and said we need to be out there. So we organized, and about 6 of us went out like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we were able to actually see the first responders doing a great job in our neighborhood. And the police were coming down the street, checking door to door to the houses that had big trees that fell on, make sure people were safe. And even in the night, even though you couldn't see the policeman, we knew the voice of the policeman because we know a lot of our local policemen. It was Dustin Young. And I said, Dustin, is that you? And he said, yes, it is. But we were just appreciative of what was going on, and a lot of firemen were there, a lot of trees were down, a lot of power lines were down, and we were checking on all that. We even met other neighbors out that never come to the neighborhood meeting, but they were out there checking on their property and making sure everybody was okay. So I just think it's great to have a neighborhood association. That was the main discussion at our meeting yesterday. We meet outside 3 times a year, and we're discussing having a picnic on August the 7th to kind of continue talking about what's going on as far as recovery. There was a lot of discussion about how insurance companies were handling the cleanup. Some people are pretty satisfied with their insurance company. Others are very disappointed, feel that they're not being taken care of properly. So we talked about that. But anyway, we wanted to thank all the first responders too. And being an employee at AEP, I personally get to talk to a lot of the line mechanics. And we'd like to thank Ryan Miller and all his team. And when I was out there the day after the storm, I saw Nate Allen a couple of days later, who was a line supervisor, and Nate was so happy that they cleaned all that up and got everybody back online in 2 days. And, you know, when you see these guys, you know, it's dangerous work, especially during a time like that. They're just happy to really be able to restore power and get people back, because they know people need their electric, need air conditioning, and it's just good to see these guys happy after they do that great work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Curry. Ms. Hines.
Brent, I won't take it personal, but you omitted the HOA in the 5th District for Ben Oak. Our very first, they tell me, neighborhood cleanup this Saturday, August 10th. Is that right? From 8 to noon. And a shout out to Patty and the other staff, 311, Deshaun Brooks, for working with the officers and getting the information that's needed to plan and organize that. And the neighbors are really excited, including myself. And I know Brent's going to be there because it's in the 5th District, and anyone else that would like to join us to help. But they're really excited about this. Is the first time I've been told that they're going to utilize this great service that the city provides and do a cleanup. So we're looking forward to it
Do
Saturday.
they need any help on the golf course?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident.
All right.
You can actually use my
I'll be
golf-
there then.
Okay.
Count on me.
You can use my golf cart.
All right.
Thanks,
Anyone else? Mrs. King.
Invite everyone to the Cleveland Avenue Neighborhood Association. That is under Eula Mitchell. That cleanup is scheduled for August 17th from 10 to 12, and we do ask that you bring rakes and your yard equipment to help out with the neighboring streets. The ones that are on listening in, if you would like to come out and volunteer, we would greatly appreciate it, and we would like to extend it out to the streets outside, and we will have refreshments afterwards. Also would like to invite everyone to come out to the Benham Neighborhood Initiative update. That is Thursday, August 8th from 6:30 to 8 at Tolson for Community Excellence. And under the program would be LaVon Johnson, Greater Elkhart Chamber of Commerce, Mayor Rod Robertson, and Marianne Cusado. Cool. University of Notre Dame School of Architecture. So we invite you all. We're looking forward to that, and we are excited to hear the update. So thank you very much. And I want to also, I didn't do it last meeting, but thank you all for coming out to the last 6th District Let's Talk Tuesday. It was an awesome turnout, and we will have additional meetings throughout the year. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Holmes.
I believe that tomorrow night on the Central Green is Police Night Out Against Crime. Is that correct? Okay. Want to make sure I've got that right. Invite everybody there. I've got it on my calendar. Like, my gosh. School's starting soon. Again, teacher here. So last week for me to not really pay close attention to my calendar. So here we go.
5 to 7 tomorrow. Rain or shine. Okay, at this time, I have privilege of the floor. Is anyone in the audience who would like to speak with regards to anything that's not on our agenda? Mr. Spellbring.
Okay, my name is Ralph Spellbring. I live on the block that Senator Barack Obama visited the first Sunday of May in 2008. The second Friday of last month, I rode the blue, green, orange, and red lines. I'd like to suggest those of you on the council ride the blue, green, and orange lines so you're acquainted with how much construction is going on in the city of Elkhart. The green line at one time, when both West Indiana and Franklin were under construction, the green line was following the yellow line to Napanee and then north. Once Franklin opened, the green line now goes down to Napanee and then north. The red line follows US 33 from Elkhart to Goshen. I saw here an old schedule for Blue Line North Point Trolley. The new one, they're designated the line that goes out to the toll road as Route 33. That makes no sense to me when the red line runs along US 33. The Elkhart Truth in January published 0 letters. In July, they published 7. That's not nearly as many letters as in the past. Therefore, I see no reason to restrict public comment to 3 minutes. It ought to be longer than that. I have a statement to read. Indiana city courts do not exist to protect city employees from evidence that might indicate misconduct, mistakes, or neglect. When this property owner went for a walk on the south side of Elkhart at the time of the Elkhart 4-H Fair some years ago, he noticed some properties with the public health hazard of abandoned tires. These can be breeding ground for disease-bearing mosquitoes. Several people died of these diseases across the state line in southern Michigan in 2019. A camera was purchased and pictures taken of these properties. After the pictures were developed, it was found there were about 20 public health hazard properties. When this property owner appeared in Elkhart City Court for an alleged cosmetic code violation, Judge Grodnick only allowed evidence from the code enforcement officer who ignored these 20 public health hazard properties. Unconstitutional, unethical, dishonest, and abusive are some terms to describe this type of conduct. Today is August 5th. My name is Ralph Spellbring.
Thank you, Ralph. Appreciate that. If you give that to Angie. Is there anyone else in the audience? Come right up.
I live on West Crawford Street, and I just wanted to give a
Would you state your name, please?
Shauna Dushan. And I just wanted to give a thank you in particular to the Code Enforcement Department. My person is Mayfield, and in between I had Janet, and before that was Mayfield, so it kind of was like a little bit of a sandwich there. I'm back to Mayfield. I just wanted to say thank you because I have apartments across from me that require frequent babysitting. They're home a great deal of the time, so it's not like I can go out there and snap off a pic because they'll know who the narc is. So Mayfield is pretty much essential to me getting the the stuff picked up, which they happen to put out there a lot, that's fine. I mean, as long as I got you guys to back me, in particular code enforcement, I feel like, you know, it's okay because I've been at this particular address for 28 years. So it's not like I'm just going, oh, hey, he did a great job yesterday. It's been years, decades running. And we're quick to complain. I feel we need to be a little bit quick to go ahead and say, hey, thanks for doing us the solid and taking care of us. And that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I'm sure the building and code enforcement appreciate that. Is there anyone else? Seeing none, we'll turn it back to the council. We don't have any committee meetings to schedule. Everybody, is Night Out Against Crime tomorrow? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
You sure?
5 to 7. Night Out Against Crime.
It's on the transcription if you'll read it, Alex. I'd also like, just quickly mention that we've got the EnviroFest this weekend. It's the 27th year, and we're going to have a lot of great things there, showing Elkhart's environmental side. Thank you.
Entertain a motion to adjourn?
Accept
Acceptance
communications,
of
Mr.
communications.
President.
Do we have to do that?
Yes.
Okay. A motion to accept communications?
So move.
Got a motion by Mr. Crabtree, a second by Mrs. Hines, that we accept communications. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign, motion carries. Motion for adjournment.
So move.
Got a motion by Mr. Crabtree,
Second.
second by Mr. Fish. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.